Hello, welcome, if you're there, to this fourth night of Yuletide poems, or poems at Yuletide. Short readings of some of my poems and sometimes some of a friend. I want to feature in this session two poems by a friend of mine from her book, Crown of Eggshells. Her name is Rachel Deering. Let's see if I can get a better light there. And there's two poems from hers that have kind of set the theme for this reading. Theme of return. Since it is Yuletide and we are waiting, hoping for signs of the sun's return. So I have to read hers from the book by candlelight. And I'll read one now and one later on in the session. This is a return. I carried poetry back in my pocket, or sometimes it was heavier baggage. At other times, a gun. Words for parting shots, words for war. I returned. A black egg nested under one arm. Some say I am part bear, part human. Or perhaps that I had killed bears for sport. Who can remember? I left so long ago, and this is the way legends grow. Words weave stronger, truths foggier, with each mouth that forms to tell tales, to feed the needs of the speakers who breathe the air of these tales. I had killed men. That much was true. Murder haunted the hollows beneath my eyes. I came back, more animal, more brute. I returned, as though I had risen, clay-footed from the mud. Old women sucked their teeth at the sight of me. Those witches saw deep into the stain of glut of blood, saw that I had fought for nothing, the nothing that those who have battled find they have fought for in the end, and then recoiled with the disgust that curdled in the folds of their minds. The older men craved me, took lecherous note that my thighs, a gateway to what had once been firmly closed, were now left off the latch, and imagined themselves between them. Yet I would not let these patriarchs back in. I winched up my groaning dawns and existed in isolation, as I, in death bloat, could no longer stomach the living, or that I had become something less than solid. I found irony too, or the undiscovered magic of my potential innocence, to which I'd hitched such hope when I departed, and now, womanhood restored, though some men brimmed and brewed with feigned enchantment for me, I saw that these were little more than card tricks, a conceit that I bore this burden of poetry not as a bear, but a donkey for the soul. A Return by Rachel Deering. Mention of bears in that one brought to mind this poem, which I think I found at a previous solstice, a previous midwinter. It's called Solstice Journey. I met her by a sleeping bear, the oldest child in the world, and she was set with lion's gold upon her nape across her back. The way had passed through forest gloom, had brought me to the deepest oak, with half a hole to welcome me, a spiral staircase wrought within, bending on a left-hand side, sinking steps below the earth and into smells as thick as soup, with shining hair to light the dark. It was a bear. It loomed to make the ceiling fear and lean away, with snores that filled the air with tears and shudders jolting every thigh, while close beside, on baby rugs, the oldest child in the world examined me. Her probing look, I knew, would find me no surprise. There was a gift, I know, because I brought it back, but how she got it in my hand I never can or will recall, retracing steps to the right-hand side and through a hole, half a hole, and dashing through the gloomy wood to call my name 3 times, Math, 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 and so arrive. The gift unheeded in my hand. I'd said goodbye. My hand upon that other's face, I'd passed a light and made it theirs alone, not mine. The oldest child in the world had known my name. She had no need. So mine was left to stray. I said goodbye. I took my leave. Another of return, where perhaps the feelings about that return are ambiguous. This is called The Shining Line, or Jack's Back. But something was left in Fairy when I came back over the line. My hair, they say, is still golden, and my boots are soft and fine. My dancing is ever as light as the sun. My stillness retains its shine. But something was left in Fairy when they brought me back over the line. I doffed my hat to Jill today. She promised she still was mine. Her mother drove me into the yard for a blessing upon the kine. Her father gave his forgiveness over a glass of mulberry wine. But something was left in the mist when they fetched me back over the line. The priest, he gives a flinch of fear and a flick of a warding sign. The children play out a game with me, with giggles and wonderment in their eyne. The haughty mistress in the hall has summoned me there to dine, to ask me what was in fairyland and what has been left behind. And are there golden apples grown with grapes of silver on the vine? Do the handsomest lords of fairy dance, and do they number 9? Does one of them step away at last? Does one of those princes pine for a mistress all of raven hair, who was snatched back over the line? Then her breast is thrown against my own, her hands in my hair entwine. Her lips are scrabbling at my mouth for a taste of a breath divine. The tears upon her cheek do fall and mingle a while with mine. But we part unhappy and lost for whatever has never strayed across the line. The doctor was called for the mistress, amazed at her sudden and sharp decline. I took myself to visit with Jill, found her feeding her goats and swine. A light surrounding her, bright and sure, ran ribbons across my spine, told me this perhaps is where I belong, upon this side of the shining line. Should I take that treasure that never was took nor lost across the line? The shining line. There's a word we have, silly. We use it to express something about someone's stupidity or foolishness. The village fool would be regarded as silly. But it seems that the word survives from an older word, Seelie. And the court where the fairies reside was known as the Seelie court. So those who are regarded now as silly or foolish, in older times were perhaps regarded as somehow touched by the fairies. Seelie. And for those of us that manage out of choice or need for health, to find our way again, out and away and through that velvet silver mist which gleams a scuttled dream upon the field, the way between, and calling where the light shows more bright than any sun has seen, but will not fall on earth, from which the old kingdom music beats like a heart but never heard here on this further side. And those of us that do, finding sudden hunger never known in the womb, and a chill within the lung, and the iron that has kept us never truly part of there, heavy, sudden in our blood. Those of us are trembling, stepping into here, out of mist, out of clarity of crystal air, of golden eyes and ebony hair, of fingers interlocking, words of carefree devotion in the ear. and all the morning moan and keen despair of leaving it all behind, sickening in our bellies. Some of us can only crawl. Those of us coming back to time, to hope for return, to home perhaps, stumble over thistle, find ourselves shadowed by the wall built by our past and fearful masters and their carls, across the fields they know, along the bright and shining line, to keep folk from fairy out. And those of us who manage to return behind, we are the ones they say did fall, did waste away, the damned, forsook the world and ruled ourselves unfit. Believe their fairy tale. The kindly ones themselves were never so cruel. Seelie. So I'm going to read another, and then I'm going to read the second from Rachel's collection. And then to finish, I'll reprise the one I did at the very beginning, which might well have walked into halfway through. A return, again, a different kind of return perhaps, called Morrighan, my love. I saw a raven, and then beyond, I saw you, looking this way, wearing her feathers in your mind. Like life returning to a bloody man on battlefield, nipped by raven's beak, I am not dead, but trapped beneath the fallen, heaving at the weight. I saw you, weeping. Wished I had fallen in a mighty fray, your name as my battle cry. I, the only one reminded, having blood still in my veins, not still, fading into battle fog, waiting for the scavengers to lift the dead away. A tired man tried, remembering the cause he would have died. Morrighan, my love. So, this is my guest for this session, Rachel Deering, Crown of Eggshell. As I said before, choosing two of her poems set the theme for the poems I'd write of my own. I've read A Return, which is the first in the book, and I'm going to read the last, which is A Homecoming. I notice the orbs of dew that glow along the blackthorn stems with their deep amethyst fruits, little lights that glister, and am patient in anticipation of their fall. From my morning spot at kitchen window, glad, I think, that my bare feet, perched cold on the stone, are here to feel again. I am heartened by the omnipresence of the wintering sun on green faces, but sense its impermanence too, as we glimpse the countenance of time as it alters, as it passes. It is for me to pacify the inchoate impulses and voices for each day. We exist in the doing. All this middle-aged Buddhist wisdom. There is a temptation to be a migration of swallows or swifts, lost to the compulsion to be future, to be in tomorrow before it has even arrived. And the past, that fucking beast. But what will come first? The emptiness of forgetting, or the hollowness of being forgotten? These gathered drops of dew will fall, impelled by wind and gravity. They will be graceful, even in their messy splash. I am filled with a love that is afraid, but there is beauty to my damage, and there is dignity in the fall. There is a grace to it all. The sun too will founder daily in horizons. Come, sit by me then. Let the moon be our lighthouse, our nightly beacon of consolation, that each day will tread a tender homecoming. And I wonder if it was not hope after all, but I alone who had returned, divested of those gods of dread, before whom I had quaked. We will wander together. A Homecoming by Rachel Deering, from her collection A Crown of Eggshell. And this the last. A song of return. Sing me. He is calling. Crossover. So I want you to sing me. I want you to sing me of the kine in the field. Of the kine in the field, milk-laden and lowing. I want you to sing me of the sheep on the hill. He is calling, cross over. So I want you to sing me of the harvest needs bringing, all the grain gone to gold, all the grain stood swaying and the bread to be garnered. I want you to sing me of the beer still to brew. He is calling, cross over. There are songs needing singing. There are songs that my mother knows, though weaker her voice. Though weaker her voice, she has taught us the melodies. I need you to sing me the songs she knew. He is calling, cross over, so I want you to sing me of the kinder asleep, of the baby in arms, of the baby in arms and her warden around her. the warden of spirits, singing songs to my soul. He is calling, cross over, and again I must go, one more time. I must go, as so often before, but as so often before now, I must ask you to sing me of the way that brings me there and brings me home. I will not return just once, but till then, bring me home.